Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Welcome, everyone, to another amazing episode of Referrals Podcast. And this one is certain, it might be the most amazing, to actually use that word in its most strict sense, of all podcasts. Imagine you hosting an event that you didn't even go to, and yet you got referrals. That's right. Imagine a lead generation method that doesn't even require you to get leads. A referral generation system that doesn't even require you to get referrals. How about that? How would you like it, something like that, where the system is so good that it just works without you? Today, we are going to dive deep into the beauty of the leverage and scale that this lead generation, referral generation system can give to you. And I can't wait to dive in. I have to give a shout out very quickly, though. This is from Lindsay Springsteen. Any relation to Bruce Springsteen? That would be so cool. She is a realtor out of Southwest Florida, and she said the following: "You've helped me to deepen my business relationships with 7L and Referrals Podcast. You do an amazing job to help nurture what every business owner should be doing to grow relationships with clients. And I just wanted to say thank you." Well, Lindsay Springsteen, thank you. I definitely appreciate that. And always write in, let us know. Something that Lindsay did really well here is when you do a review for Referrals Podcast, put your profession and location in that review so that other people who read those reviews, they're watching Referrals Podcast or they're listening to Referrals Podcast. You know what they probably have? A referral network and referrals. So they may refer you. And Lindsay is somebody that you can definitely refer to Southwest Florida. So Lindsay, thank you for that. And what's amazing about this is she is an RMA member, which is a Referral Mastery Academy member. And we have a class starting very, very soon called Event Mastery. Now, Event Mastery is normally $1,000 a month. So it's normally $997 a month, $997 a month. You will see it some places where you can get it for $997 for the entire class. But here's the secret. I'm giving you the secret. If you sign up for Referral Mastery Academy, it's less than $100 a month. So Event Mastery is 2 months, and you get Event Mastery as part of being Referral Mastery Academy, plus 2 masterminds with me a month, live coaching. So you don't have to pay $1,000 a month to coach with me. You can pay less than $100, and you're going to get Event Mastery plus 2 coaching sessions a month with me. And here's the fair deal, right? Give us 2 months. Give us June and July. Jump into Referral Mastery Academy. And then at the end of July, if we haven't done our part, just cancel. There's no contract with Referral Mastery Academy. It's up to us to keep you. And I'm telling you, if you get into Event Mastery, June and July, you're going to have enough referrals. You're going to have enough stuff going that you're probably going to stay. Honestly, referrals are guaranteed from Event Mastery. So we're going to talk a little bit about Event Mastery during this, but we're also going to delve into how powerful this type of business really can be for you, your sphere, your community, your family, and everyone around you. So today I'm joined by Christine Pandolf, a realtor in the Lake Norman area of North Carolina, whose background is marketing, relationship building, and community involvement. This has helped her create a thriving business through events and genuine connections. Christine and her family relocated from upstate New York just a few years ago, knowing almost nobody in the area. Listen, less than 5.5 years. So you need to listen to this. Through implementing the Event Mastery System and Referral Mastery Academy, she has now built a community so strong that she recently found herself emotional at the end of one of her events, simply looking around at all the people who showed up for her. In this episode, we're talking about events that run like a well-oiled machine, the power of involving charities in your events, referrals that happen naturally through relationships, and why the right people always seem to show up when you lead with generosity. Without further ado, let's welcome Christine Pandolf back to Referrals Podcast.
Hi, Michael.
How are we doing? You ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
You're always ready to go. All right. So the first thing is I didn't realize that you'd been at Lake Norman less than 6 years. Like I didn't know that.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We just uprooted and leap of faith, and here we are.
Through talking to you through Zooms and in person, I would have thought that you've lived at Lake Norman forever because of your knowledge. Like you know that area like the back of your hand. I honestly, like we had a very, very detailed, vivid conversation about the Lake Norman area. And I was just like, I mean, I swear until today, going through the podcast notes, I thought you'd been a lifelong member of Lake Norman.
Oh, I thank you so much for saying that because I really feel like that now. And when I do something, I dive right in. So I always drive. From the second
Yeah,
we moved here, my husband's the rider. I'm the driver. So I
that's right.
learned everything, neighborhoods, cities, towns. So yeah, to become an expert, you got to know what you're talking about. So here I am.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I can tell you've done the research and experienced and really, didn't just learn bits and pieces, but you've learned the whole stuff. I love that. And all right. So when you went there 6 years ago, like what did you, I mean, that's a scary little instance is, you are new to an area. How did you get started?
So moved during COVID, tried to figure out what do I want to do next during COVID. So, thought one of the goals I had when we moved down here was I really wanted to make a difference in the community. I wanted to help people and I wanted to give back. And that was a big deal for me. So, who doesn't love showing houses and helping people? So, let me get my real estate license, and I decided to do that.
All right. Wait a
And
second.
then,
Wait a second. You weren't a realtor in New York?
no, I was not.
You Bruh, this is crazy awesome. Like, all right, so not only are you, I mean, you're not new. I mean, new is a weird word, right? So
Yeah,
you've only been in the area 6 years. You've only been licensed 6 years.
correct.
That's
Yep.
awesome. And you are top 10 in an office of over 250. I know you've gotten referrals from Gen to Lake Norman that they rave about how well you did and the experience their referrals had with you. Like this is mind blowing almost to me. I'm just like I'm so surprised and pleasantly surprised, I guess, to find out you've done all of this in 6 years. And I keep seeing the announcements from your office, top 10, top 1, top 5, like, Christine Pandolf's doing awesome and she's this and then she's that. So I mean, so you really, I mean, this is I mean, it really is almost like a get rich quick scheme. Like it really, I
Yeah.
mean, it's 6 years, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. So what did you do to get started from a lead generation standpoint?
So, when you're a newly licensed realtor, you're drinking from the fire hose, and all these things are like, do this, do that, social media, blah, 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 blah. And I'm not the biggest high technology person. And I was like, I'm a people person. So, I did hook up with our beloved Angela Gribbins,
Mm-hmm.
who kind of steered me towards referral mastery. And she was talking about this event mastery program and how I need to do this. You got to do this. And I'm like, all right, I will. And then I took event mastery, and finally she's like, all right, we got to get a date for this event on your calendar. And I'm like, who am I going to invite? I know, it was COVID. It was just after COVID. I know 10 people. She's like, well, invite those 10 people. So I invited those 10 people, and 8 people came, and I got a referral out of that. and then I closed that business. It was my first closing.
Wow.
So that's how I
That's awesome.
started.
That's how it's supposed to work. By the way, those of you that are listening, there are no guarantees made in this program that, well, actually, we do make a guarantee. The referrals, you're going to get at least one referral from running Event Mastery. We guarantee one referral. If you don't get one referral, you can take it again on us and keep going until you get a referral, but you're going to get a referral. But I love that your first piece of business came from running the system and getting a referral through it. That's the way it's supposed to work. All right. Now you know more people though. So, all right. So tell us what you do like on an annual business, like what do you do with events from a yearly standpoint?
Yeah. So for me, what's been working and it's morphed into this is an all yap event, one in the spring and one in the fall. I do kind of a spring fling in the spring, March or Aprilish, just depending on what works. And then in the fall, I do Pie Day. That is a no, I do not steer away from that. That is an amazing event. I love it the most. It's Thanksgiving week. It's everybody's happy. Everyone wants to eat and you're giving pies to everyone and it's so much fun. So I do that. And then in the middle of the year, I live in an HOA community, a condo community. And I sponsor and run and organize our community pool party. We open the summer with a pool party where I get a DJ or a band and a food truck. And I hand out, branded merchandise and I do door prizes and I do that door prize entry form. So everybody who's renting, I get their name and number and I have them check the box. Do you rent or do you own if I don't know them? And then I do know them and then they're on my mailing list. And then they're on my call list and then they're invited to my parties and then I know them.
You get it. Like you get it. You are owning the system. All right. So your first event, and we'll explain all yap and top yap here in a second. I'll have you explain what those mean to you. What did you do for your very first event where you invited the 10?
Well, it was kind of like, hey, look, I'm in real estate now. Even though I didn't really know these people, a lot of them, some of them are just neighbors. A couple people I did know that were a little closer, that lived a little closer to me. But they knew people. And, like the daughter of somebody that I knew was newly engaged and needed a place to live. They wanted to buy something. So they were my first client. And I've since just sold their house and just sold them another house. So they're in, and they just had their first child last week. So, it's like amazing.
That is your real estate consultant for life in a nutshell right there. So, all right. So you did essentially like a launch party. That's what it sounds like to me.
I did a launch party.
Yeah. Did you do food and drink at that?
Oh yeah, we were at a restaurant.
Yeah.
I go all out. I'm Italian.
Yeah.
I have to have food and
Oh,
it
yeah.
all has to be big. So we did it at a restaurant. And they have now just become my caterer at the plate. I've kind of changed my venues up a little bit, but now they've become my main caterer that caters food. So we did it there though. It was great. Everyone got, a drink ticket. They got food. We had some door prizes. Didn't bring in a charity at that one. So I wasn't really sure about how that was going to work out. And boy, you learn a lot by doing it.
Yeah. So, all right. How many were at your spring fling?
Oh my gosh.
That
Maybe
you just had
60, 65, maybe.
You've come a long way, young lady, right? Come a
Yeah.
long way with these events. All right.
Yeah.
So we got to start somewhere. So you started with 10, you got 8 people there, great turnout. One had a daughter that needed to buy. And since then you've sold their house and helped them get another, and they've expanded to baby making, which is good stuff, life-changing industry in itself. And then, all right. So give me, like, when it comes to planning an event, so you plan your spring fling, plan your pie day, your pool party, whatever it may be. Like, what is one thing that you do as part of the planning that you would give as a tip to somebody? Like somebody in your office comes up to you and goes, "Oh my gosh, I want to do an event, and like, what's the first thing I need to think of?"
Make sure you have enough time to get it done. Like,
Mhm.
don't don't schedule it too soon. You need that 6 to 8 weeks to really kind of map it out and plan something every single week to do.
That's awesome, because the number one thing that happens when somebody sees me speak or hears you on a panel or hears about events is they go, "Oh, I want to do one of those." And they schedule it for like 2 weeks or 4 weeks, and they try to get it done, and it's just a harried, stressful occasion. And then they go, "Oh, events don't work. Like, they're too stressful, too much work, too much whatever." And yeah, right. You tried to pack 8 weeks of stuff into 4 weeks. It's going to be, or 3 weeks. It's going to be tough to do that. That is awesome, awesome, awesome stuff. Yeah. So, all right, invitation wise. So we want to invite people to the event. What are some strategies, ideas, things we need to really keep in mind when it comes to the invitation process?
Well, because I want that time to plan, I need to plan in time enough to I like to get my sponsor. I do a mailed event. I mail. I'm old fashioned. I do mail, and then I follow that mail up with texts, calls, video.
Now you're talking
texts.
snail mail, right?
Snail mail. I like something to touch. I want them to get it in the mail. It's special. They open it and it's special. So they get their mail. I like to have their time built in there to have all my sponsors lined up, because part of my spiel to my sponsors is your logo, your name is going to be on everything, including the invitation, the thank you card, and everything else I print in between. So I want my sponsors lined up to go on my invitation. So I need that time to build to get those in.
I have to tell you, there's a genius to the snail mail. We just don't get a lot of mail anymore. Like it used to be, we'd get bills. Well, we don't, it's all electronic now. It used to be magazines. Well, nobody's doing magazines. Like nobody's reading magazine or subscribing to magazines. And it's like there's no mail. And then I would love to say that there's handwritten notes, but we know that that's not a common occurrence either. So when you send this invitation, I'm guessing you send an 8.5 by 11 invitation in a business envelope, or is it?
Nope, it's a card. It's like a 5 by 7 card that's got a front and an inside, left, right, and a back.
Super formal invitation. All right. So what's on the front? So let's talk about this. I like this.
So, if you have to, everyone has to use Canva now. So I learned how to use Canva, or you employ somebody that does Canva for you. And so I create my themed, whatever my theme is, spring fling. And then, there's a picture of me typically on it doing something, and all the details, where, when, what time, RSVP, there's a QR code on there, or text me, RSVP ASAP. I follow the rules to the letter. So that's all on the front. So they get all the information that they need really on the front. And then inside, I'm explaining the event. I have my charity in there and a list of donation items or whatever, the QR code for them, or if they can't make it, they can donate anyway. And then on the back of the card is all my sponsors, their pictures, their logos, all of that stuff is on the back of the card. So they're getting a whole package.
Love it. So it's mixing kind of the best of a handwritten note, because that's the size of the envelope, with the event system, like putting all of the information and details about the event in one place for them to, and man, they're going to open it. You have RSVP ASAP on there, so they know to come out. What was it hard to get them to adjust to a QR code, or do you feel like they adjusted pretty rapidly?
Well, to be honest with you, no one used the QR code.
Yeah, they texted you.
They texted me, or they waited until they got the video, text from me. And then they're like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was busy. I missed your call and I missed your text. And okay, yes, I'm coming, or I can't make it. And how do I, I'll use the QR code on your thing from the, to donate or whatnot." So I haven't had success with them, but I include it anyway, because you never know. There might be that one person that's how they want to RSVP, and that's fine. But they text typically.
Yeah. Well, you also said something really important there is you don't just send the card. You are following up to make sure they get it and your video text comes across. So tell us about the video text.
So I just create a little very informal video saying, "Hi, it's me. I hope you got my invitation." And that I will tell you, if they haven't gotten the invitation, they will let you know. I never got the invitation. So then I'm electronically sending something out. But hey, I just want to remind you that, my event is coming up and da 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 da. I can't wait to see you. If you need anything, you know how to find me. Give me a call. Look forward to seeing you soon. Boom, done. So
Love it. Love it. Easy, simple, and yet really, really powerful. And it's you, right? It's uniquely you. And something that I've seen as an evolution for you is that, like, in the beginning, we're kind of fearful, like, who is going to show up? Like, or nobody's going to show up. We have those fears. And I love how you've transformed, like you said something really powerful. The guest who should be there will be there. So talk to me about that a little bit, because what a great attitude. What a great way to go into this.
yeah, I mean, that kind of has been drilled into my head too, but it took me a while to get there because, of course, if you invite people to a party, you want everybody to come. But I realized that the power is really in the invitation. They're getting invited and they feel special anyway, and they've come to expect it. I mean, I've had people say to me, "I didn't get your invitation for spring yet. Are you having your event this spring?" Yeah, you should be getting it any day now. So I I mean, I just I can't worry about who's not coming. I'll just I'm happy that the people that are there have come because they want to be there or they can
Mhm.
be there. And Thanksgiving week is very difficult for people. They travel. So a lot of people aren't able to come, but I still talk to them. They still answer my text message. They listen to my video call. They get the thank you note anyway. Cause I also send a, "Hey, sorry you missed it." Cause I send photos and stuff like that on my card, and they get that thank you note feeling like, "Oh man, I missed this. I got to make sure I get there next time, you know?
Yeah, FOMO kicks in with the follow-up,
It
right? And
does. It
and
does.
and I think you've really fully embraced the slogan, the power is in the invitation. It really is the communication around the events that are the most important thing. Would you agree?
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Communication is huge. And I keep I have a list. I printed out my little invitation list and I check mark, okay, phone call, email, text message, video text, RSVP. And I just keep it going until, I can't keep it going anymore. And we're at event day. And then it's just like, okay, we'll see who shows up, you know? And then I have
Well,
people saying to me, "Can I bring a friend?" Totally. Bring as many people as you want. Come on
there you go.
over. Absolutely.
Exactly. I love it. Well, all right. So talk about your mindset around invitations and attendance and how it's changed through this process. How have you transformed around that invitation process and the attendance and that kind of thing? I mean, you're getting 60 people now. So, obviously has the system got better? Is it just that you follow up better? Like talk me through that.
Well, I think my sphere has gotten bigger, right? I mean, and there's more reach and more people. Um, but I'm trying not to worry about it so much. I'm trying not to worry about it. Like I can't focus on who's not coming, how many people are going to show up, is it going to be successful? I just have to let the universe come, just bring it on,
Mm,
whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And just go from there. I can't control everything. I try to control everything. And when you start controlling everything, you can control nothing.
mhm.
So I can't worry about that stuff. I just have to be like, okay, let's have a great party and see how we can all help each other.
Hmm. Love it. All right. So sponsors, how do you get sponsors? What does that look like?
Well, that's morphed into a lot now. I was always really afraid to ask. I mean, and so every time I would do event mastery, it'd be like, you got to ask, you got to ask. And I'd be like, oh my God. Okay. I've got a lender. Okay. My lender, she's going to be there every time. I know she will, but I can't just do it with the lender because this is costing me money. I do food and drinks and this and pies and whatever. And I need more participation. So now I ask everyone. So I've kind of grown more comfortable with asking. And I think that a lot of my sponsors are repeats every single event, and they see the value. They're getting referrals, and it's on them whether or not they can convert those or not. It's not on me. I'm giving them and introducing them, and they're there to meet them themselves. And I think we have really good partnerships. And I brought in my last two events. I brought in people they sell furniture and mattresses and stuff, and they brought like all kinds of bedding for giveaways and drawings, and it was mind blowing. The whole team came. There was like 7 people from this furniture store came, and it was awesome. It was awesome. So
That's awesome. That is awesome. You're awesome. All right. So here's the transformation that I've seen in whatever 5 years. You went from, I didn't want to ask anyone, to you just said, I ask everyone. I ask everyone to sponsor. That's a phenomenal transformation. That is and honestly, it's what I hope everyone evolves to within RMA and the event mastery system. Is it becomes, it literally, your radar is up for sponsors every day. Every day. You buy something. You're like, oh, I just got tires at Discount Tire or whatever it is. And you're like, I need to ask Discount Tire to sponsor my event. And then they're like, sure, we'll do it. Or we'll give you these 4 tires. And you're like, I'll take the 4 tires. I like that. And I'll put you on the sponsors. I use you guys and brag about you anyway. So, right. And then all of a sudden you got 4 tires for free. And it's like, no, that's how it works, right? I mean, it literally everywhere you go becomes an opportunity. Every conversation becomes an opportunity to make money. That is unheard of in the real estate world. That is unheard of. Usually it's, you hope to get somebody and you hope to get paid in 90 days. And instead it's like, no, you can get paid. It's the best side hustle in the history of the world is events and sponsors. Because,
yeah.
and it's not just taking money, right, Christine? You're not just taking their money. How are we providing value back to them? How are you providing value back to your sponsors?
Yeah. I mean, they're getting a lot of advertising. They're getting, they're on everything. I'm building poster size things that they're on. And then I asked, the printer if they'd be a sponsor, and they printed all my stuff for free the last two events. I mean, everything from, just everything, not the invitations because I do those separately, but all of my signage for everything, my drink tickets down to like stickers for the pies and everything. They printed it all in kind as a sponsor. So that was huge. And my last 2 events, my pie event in November cost me 0. I broke even. And my last event cost me $100. I had 65 people that I fed like kings, and they all had a cocktail on me and my sponsors, and gave away a plethora of door prizes, and it cost me $100. It's such a huge win. Huge. So my budget now, it looks like I start with 0 and I want to end up at 0,
Yeah. I love that you broke even on the pie day too. That's one of the harder ones to end up breaking even because the pie is such a hard cost,
It is.
Yeah. So, all right, we can't bury the lead too much.
Yeah.
So you've been doing these for a while, 3 or 4 years. And then this last fall, you were going through event mastery that we literally calibrate so that everybody can throw pie day. So you're working on it. You're doing the invitations, and then you had your pie day without Christine Pandolf. You need to make that an annual thing, like pies without Pandolf. I think that's your new title. It's not the Great Pie Day giveaway anymore. It's the Great Pie Day without Pandolf. So, all right. So you got to tell us what happened, and I, and you got referrals. Like you weren't even there, and you got referrals. So tell us the story about what happened with Pie Day.
So, I'm a planner. So
Yeah.
the week of, Pie Day, I did all the things and everything was prepped. My pies were ready. The labels were on them. Everything was piled up. Everything was in bins. Everything was labeled. It was all ready to go and ready to be put in my car. And then I woke up on event day and I couldn't get out of bed. I was not well. I was not well. So we waited a few hours through the morning. My husband was like, "Oh my God, what's going to happen? What are we going to do? What are we going to do?" And I said, "Well, it's too late to cancel. We're not canceling. We have, you know, some 50 some pies or 60 pies. We're not keeping those. So you got to go." And he's like, "I've got this. I've got this." And I called my couple of sponsors that have been with me from the beginning and said to them, "I really need your help, but I'm not going to be there. And I need you to get there a little early to do all the setup and stuff like that." And they were like, "Christine, we've got this. We know exactly what you need us to do." And I'm like, "Okay." And sure enough, my husband, thank God for Dave, Super Dave, he did, and he was only 6 weeks post a total shoulder replacement, so he really had one wing, and he like loaded the car and did all this stuff. And my really good friends, my best friend here, really, who is a client, was a client, one of my first clients a couple years, 3-4 years ago. And now she's like my best friend. She knew what to do because she's been at all the events. So she was helping. So it was like all hands on deck without Pandolf. And I had clients and friends of mine texting me pictures, getting together and sending me like group videos saying how, "We miss you, but your husband and everybody's doing such a great job." And I was just so overwhelmed watching that happen and not being there. I mean, I had FOMO big time, but it was amazing that it all went off without a hitch, honestly, without me. So yeah, it works. If you do it, it works.
So what do you attribute that to? Like, how did that happen? And you got to realize, Christine, that there's a lot of soloness in real estate. There's a lot of like, if it is WE, it is up to me. A lot of like, I got to do it. A lot of, if, like me, I got to do it. I got to make it happen. And there are literally people listening to this right now with their jaw on the table, like how did she do that? How is that even possible? So talk us through that.
Well, number one, I think I surrounded myself with amazing human beings and people. My husband is a saint. And my sponsor partners that have been with me from the beginning and believed in me, and we work together really well on all other things, and they knew the drill because we've kind of learned it together sort of the last 4 years, and have, with every event, it gets better and better, and you learn more and you change it up as you need to. But I mean, having the right people in place and then having good friends that also knew what to do and knew what I would have needed. I mean, they were able to do the drawings and all of that stuff. They knew to fill out the whole form. Please fill it all out. Have your name tag and get your drink ticket. And my husband held the drink tickets for this event so that he was, everyone was like, "Where's Christine?" And he's like, "She couldn't come, but I'm
He
here."
got to explain it. Yeah, he got to explain it to every single person instead of having to make an announcement. Thank God for the golden ticket strategy, so that like there wasn't a bunch of people wondering. Everybody knew, they knew quickly, and they're like, oh, okay, and went and got their drink. It's like, or got their pie. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you've also really embraced the who is not you. You don't have to do everything. You've got volunteers, you've got sponsors who are also volunteers, which are the best volunteers because they actually paid you to volunteer, which is
Yeah.
interesting, but awesome.
Yeah.
And so it's I think one big thing that you said is if I'm hearing correctly, it's like it's the system with great people. And
Right.
you've put the great people on the layer of the system, and it allowed that event to go on without a hitch. And you were tremendously missed, right? And that says something too. The one thing it says is they don't just go to the events to get their free pie. They
Exactly
come to
true.
these events for you. You
Yeah.
are the attraction. You are the attraction.
Yeah, and it takes a real long time to have that kind of thing sink in because I don't like I'm more shy about that kind of thing.
Humble,
But
yeah.
yeah, a little more humble and uh, I don't want the spotlight on me. I'm kind of like, no, let's give it to everybody else and everything. So that was kind of, a moment I had after that particular event where I just sat there and was like, oh my God, this whole thing was like a well-oiled machine or nothing would have happened and we would have had to cancel. I mean, if everything hadn't been planned out exactly like the system, and then thank God I had, key people in place to pick up the ball and run with it. They did it all. I mean, I did the planning and they did the rest. It was
Hmm.
crazy.
Well, at what point did you realize you had created a true system that was a well-oiled machine instead of just hosting an event? Like, when was that
Well,
big
after
waking?
that event went off without me, I'm like, what the heck am I going for? Like they can do this, like it can be done. I mean, of course, I would never do that, but and people at the spring event were like, oh, we missed you so much, but man, it was great. I'm like, that's
Yeah,
awesome. So
yeah.
the sponsors were in it still, and they were creating the interaction that they needed to have and the conversations they needed to have. But it wasn't until I think after that event that I'm like, okay, I don't need to change any of that stuff up because that's all working. That all
Mhm.
works. It works. And then that's where when I was going through all the door prize entry forms and looking at the referrals and all of that stuff, where I realized that, like, one of my clients on there that I sold a home to 2 years ago checked the me box for like buying a house. I'm like, so there in my first phone call, I'm like, are you, what do you need? Yeah, we were thinking maybe we might want to sell this house. We might want a bigger one. Okay. And had it, I don't know if they would have just called me randomly, but they filled the form out and it created all this dialogue and conversation. So it
That's
was
awesome.
awesome.
That's a beautiful thing. All right. So talk to me about the charitable aspect of your events. What do you like to do with the charities, and how has that been an important piece to it for you?
Well, like I said, a big part of things, everything that I wanted to do when I moved here, when I, trying to be a business person, an entrepreneur, a person in the community, is community for me. So I'm like, okay, there's got to be a give back here. And then, through Event Mastery, it was always like, okay, you got to have a charity. And I was always like, how am I going to do this? What do I really have a passion for? Well, I have a passion for people. So and pets, people and pets. So in the spring, I aim to choose a charity that's like Humane Society or something with pets. Everybody loves pets. And then at my fall event, pie event, it's more of a food drive for those organizations that put food together, especially for kids who during the holidays may not have snacks because they're not in school, or may not have breakfast because they're not in school, and that just like tugs at your heartstrings and is like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh. So in the beginning, when I was starting to do these events, there was a couple of them and I didn't have a charity involved, and always felt like something was missing. Wow, that part is missing. And I was missing out on like probably best part of the whole thing was giving back. And then seeing how generous all of my attendees was like mind blowing. So Pi Day, I had this organization, this nonprofit organization, food drive thing there, and the table was overflowing with donations, whereby the organizer who was there, I always have the organizations come, please come, send people to meet, let them meet my attendees and everything. They were in tears with how much stuff that they had. They needed to go get another truck, another vehicle to carry everything. So they were like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then in my spring event, I did the Humane Society. Again, they needed a second truck for all the donations for all these pets. And they brought a dog, which didn't get adopted at the event, but he was awesome. And if I was in the, if I could have done it, I would have done it right then and there.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure the dog will get adopted. I'm sure of it. So,
that,
all right.
So that brings a lot of joy, doing that.
That's what I was going to ask is, what have you noticed about the atmosphere and the experience once you added the charitable component? What have you noticed as far as a difference?
Well, I mean, just everybody asks me, even ahead of time when I would call them on the phone, they're like, I got my invitation. Do you need all this stuff? Oh, I love this organization. How much? And then they come they come with droves. They don't just buy like a box of macaroni and cheese. They buy like the case of macaroni and cheese, and they're bringing cases in. And I just, I feel the joy kind of coming off of everybody. It just brings this whole like event, the whole energy in the room shifts to something greater than all of us and our businesses. It's like, how are we helping the community get what they need? And everyone's pitching in to help. So I love that part. And I mean, I need to do more of that. And without trying to get into two more events a year, I got to figure out how to give back like that a little bit deeper. But
well, you're doing great with it. I mean, we're talking 4 trucks worth of stuff per year. That's more than most. That's definitely, you're definitely doing your share plus. And this has led to some pretty amazing event experiences. In fact, other than the one where you didn't even show and you generated referrals for yourself and your sponsors, you had one where during your spring fling event, someone actually scheduled a client meeting with you on the spot. Like, tell us what happened and like how you think events are making those opportunities happen more for you.
So, and this is a cool thing about building relationships, and keeping long-term relationships. So this is a family member of a client of mine who had recently passed away. And so I had sold her home a few years ago, got very close to the family as I do. I kind of try and weasel right in, and I'm kind of snuggly with the family. And then my client passes away. And of course, I'm in touch with the family members. So I'm still in touch with the family members, and we're always, and they come to my events. And it's always like, we got to get coffee. We got to get coffee. Let's get coffee. And then before that event ended, they were like, we need to get coffee. Can you get your calendar out? And I was like, absolutely. Pulled it right up on my phone. I get my calendar out, set a date and time, and we went for coffee. And they're looking to sell their house in the next 6 to 8 months. They wanted to do a pre-inspection, so I hooked them up with my sponsor, who's the home inspector. And then they have an mother-in-law that needs to sell her house too. And then I got to find them all a place to live after that. So that all happened at the event because we were kind of playing, tag on going for coffee. And we just did it right then and there. Well, we were in the same place at the same time.
Well, I think that's a part of the 7 levels of communication, right? Is that you're doing it by text and you're doing it electronically. It just like things don't happen like at that level. But then you get into the phone calls and the events and the one-to-ones, and all of a sudden, like things just happen. Things get done in the influential zone. And I think that's the big thing. And plus it's at an event. So like instead of you having to schedule maybe a coffee to schedule a coffee, it was you multitask essentially. You're going to invite 60 people, and then if one or two of them need to have coffee as a follow-up, you've scheduled it right there and then, and you've got the same thing done, but you've done it times 60 instead of times one at a time. So absolutely,
Yep.
absolutely love that. All right. So you've been having these great events and things are really popping. Top 10 in the office on a regular basis, being maybe one of the newest people in the area. And you've had all the success, but it's like there's more important than success is maybe significance, right? And it's you said you became emotional after your spring fling because of all the people that came for you. So walk us through that moment and what it meant to realize that you had like built this beautiful community from scratch.
Yeah, it was really a wild moment for me. And I'm buzzing around, trying to talk to everybody. That's probably the hardest part, is to truly try and have any kind of meaningful conversations while there's people coming at you, right? And in one moment, I had, people were everywhere and talking, and I just stood there for a second, and I looked around the room, and everyone was eating and drinking and laughing and having this great time and interacting. And I saw my sponsors interacting with like everybody, and I like literally I had like an emotional moment, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, everybody came here for me. And 5 years ago, I knew none of these people, none of them. And they've all touched my life, and hopefully I've impacted theirs. And it was emotional after that, honestly. I had to take a minute and just be this. I'm so grateful. And like you said, your system, it works. There's no doubt about it. And I'm just really blessed and grateful to have been guided, down the path that you've kind of mapped out for us. And you got to do it that way and have those moments. But yeah, it was really an emotional thing for me.
Well, I love that. And the thing that I love the most about this is that it's also you. Like what I love is that I'm not telling you to do an I love you latte or a pie day or a spring fling or a pool party, right? It's all right. The event mastery operating system can just set underneath any event you want to do. And then the event becomes uniquely you and yours. And that's what I love about your transformation is that this is your community and these events are uniquely you. They are you. And the combination is all right, they're profitable, you're breaking even. So the costs are being offset. So it's great in that way, but it's also very charitable, but it's also referral generating for you and your sponsors. And then most of all, it's more than fun. Like I mean, and I don't say that lightly because I truly believe fun is like a really, really high level of energy. But having fun plus that charitable warmth plus the connectivity that you have created within this community is just a special blend of Pandolf, really special blend of community that you are growing and continue to grow. And you've done it in a really manageable way, like spring fling, spring, pool party, summer, pie day, fall. I've got it. Then you've added this element of there's some people that you want to get closer to, and you also like reading. So you've created this book club recently. So talk us through that a little bit.
So yeah, this has been really fun. About a little over a year ago, year and a half ago, decided, you know what? I want to get together with just like a couple of us, some neighbors or some friends. We're just going to get together once a month. It'll force me to read more. and it'll force me to come out of, everyone will come out of their comfort zone because you have a different, different genre instead of like, murder mysteries every single month or something.
Right.
So I created this book club, and it started out with maybe 5 or 6 of us. And then people wanted to bring a friend. Absolutely, bring your friend. Now there's about 15 of us in that group. And the friends that my friends have brought have since become my clients and have referred me to other clients and have referred me to other clients. And I recently referred one of those friends from book club to one of Jen, to meet one of those people because
So
she had
out of state referral?
an out of state. Well, it wasn't out of state, but it was about 3 hours from me. So I needed to find somebody 3 hours from me. So I referred out, and they went on they met my friend from book club. So it's a beautiful thing. And it's just a monthly thing where we just we go to a local establishment where everyone gets wine, and has conversation, and we review the book, and it's just
wait, you do review the book. I have always thought that book club was code word for getting around and drinking wine. So you actually do review the book. You actually talk about it a little bit.
Absolutely. And we come up with some questions from online about the book, and we go through those and talk about it and get into like some deep conversations. And so it's been really fun, but it's also brought other people in that I would not have normally met and opened up a whole other thing. So get a book club, start a book club. It's every month.
That I have to tell you that there is a neighborhood book club in our neighborhood that Sherry goes to every month, and she loves it. She won't miss it. She does an entire journal about the book. She takes it very seriously. The other members take it very seriously. My wife reads 50 to 55 books a year. We are both very voracious, avid readers. And I read much more nonfiction, and what they read are much more the fictional books. But what is very cool is I'm in the midst of writing my next book, and we've had the most amazing conversations because, it's going to be another power parable. So it is going to be a story. And so she's really studied these stories, and we talk about these stories after book club, and it's going to make my book better just by her being in that book club and us having those conversations about what makes a good story, what makes an interesting story, and what makes a not so interesting story. So and the other part of it too is that she would probably read anyway, but this definitely has breaking down comfort zones as to books she probably would have never picked. And then she turned it out, it was like, oh, I really like this book. A book club's a powerful thing. I definitely think, and it doesn't have to be, 15 people or 20 people. It can be 4 people. It can be 5 people. It can be a couple of you who just want to read the same books. Love that.
And most times it's not all of us. It's just, everyone has different schedules and stuff. So, but it's brought people together that normally wouldn't be together even. So what's really cool is the dynamic. And, I've got clients that, live close enough where I'm like, do you want to join my book club? You can come on over, and they have now, and then they've brought friends. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Love it.
Here's what's even cooler is you can invite them and then they don't go. The power's in the invitation, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's so nice of you to invite me. And like, they don't come because they don't want to commit, or they don't want to read that much, or whatever it is. But just the invitation is a gift. You giving
now I have people coming that haven't read the book because they just want to come because it's just a bunch of us sitting there, and they're like,
because there's wine, Christine, there's wine. I played slow pitch softball for years, and my wife thought I was playing softball. Like it was awesome. She literally, oh, you got games tonight? Yep, got games tonight. Yep, I'll be out a while. See you later. And she thought I was really good at softball. So, playing softball for guys is just, we're getting around to drink beer. That's
Yeah,
what that means. So,
I gotcha.
so I know what book club means, Christine Pandolf. I know what it
Yeah.
means. All right. All right. So let's wrap this up in a little bit of a bow here, right? So first of all, somebody's considering event mastery. They're considering the Referral Mastery Academy and what we have to offer. Like what would you say to them, or what have you said to people? I know that you've referred us before. So what did you say to those people that ended up signing up?
Follow the systems. Just do it. They all work. All of them. They all work. It's the bottom line. And if you do that, you will be successful. And instead of drinking from that fire hose, at least, I mean, there's a plan. And
Mm-hmm.
and I have to say, it's the best money you'll ever spend. And you're going to get so much more money back in the long run when you really start putting it down on paper. It's brilliant. Brilliant.
Love it. Love it. Well, this has been phenomenal. You're one of my favorite members of the Generosity Generation. So I'm going to just say a few things that I love about you, and you just got to say thank you at the end. So, but one thing that bothers me about a lot of people in Gen is they just want to get so creative so early. They're like, yeah, okay, I've got the system here, but I want to do my own thing. What you've done that I love is that you just ran the play. Like, you just like, oh, this is how the play is supposed to be run. Okay, I'm going to do A, B, C, D. You ran the play. And there's a humility and an awesome to that is special. That's the first thing. The other thing that I love about you is that, like, in the early days, you were doing okay. And now you are a leader in your community. You are a leader in your office, like Bazinga, right? You're top agent in the office and continue to do so, building relationship. But you haven't changed. Like, your humility hasn't changed. Like, nobody would know that you were a beginner at that time. I didn't even freaking know. Like, that's like, but like, and then, like, nobody is going to get put off by your air or come up, like, there's no aura of unapproachability to you. There is just this lovable, genuine, nice person who kicks ass. Like, that's what, like you're just like, yeah, I just kick ass. And that's what I love. And just like, those are the things that I really love about you.
Michael, thank you so much. I appreciate you, truly.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Christine Pandolf. She didn't even show up and got referrals. She sets appointments at events. She has been a leader here on this show. I'm telling you, this is amazing. I don't know what else to say. If you're listening to this for the first time, or if you've been listening to Referrals podcast for quite some time, it's one of those where I don't know what you're waiting for. If you're looking for a sign, this is the sign, right? Or this is the sign, or whatever it may be. But, like, jump in. We'd love to have you. Referralmasteryacademy.com. Sign up, and it could change your life. It definitely going to change the way you look at business. It's going to change the way you lead generate, but it could change your life, because I think one of the things that I love, especially coming from this interview, is that by Christine hosting these events, it isn't about the system or what she's done or like what she has and how many referrals she has. It's who she's become. That is the most special from all of this. She's gone through success to significance, which is having the success and significance at the same time. And it's just a special thing to see that transformation and evolution take place. And that's honestly, that's what keeps me going. That's what makes me so happy on a daily basis. And these are the type of interviews that fill me with joy and warmth inside. And I want this for you too, as a listener, as a viewer. I want that for you, but I can't want it for you more than you want it. I can't want your success more than you do. And you may be that person who's maybe considering getting out of this business or getting out of real estate or lending or whatever the tough business that you're in right now. And I'm going to say, jump in and give it a shot. Like, give us 2 months, see what happens. If it doesn't work, where are you? Right. But I think it's going to work. We've seen it work for people of all kinds, people from all areas, second markets, first markets, condo markets, RV markets, trailer home market. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we've had it work. I mean, at last Event Mastery, we had a weed distributor. Like, we had a party called Puff Puff Bingo, people, and it was a raging success. And not just for the Puff Puff, but also for the bingo. So bingo, people, bingo. That's what I'm talking about. Boom, bingo, and bazinga. That's today in a nutshell. I hope you join us next time on Referrals Podcast. I thank you so much for listening. We're almost to 1 million downloads on this show, and you have no idea how much I appreciate that and you for listening or watching. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time on Referrals Podcast.